Hey guys, back with another video. Just wanted to show you guys the PC replay baseball interface for my Stratomatic season. As you can see, the Rays are 68 and 53, three-game lead over Baltimore. Interesting. Some of these standings are crazy. The Detroit Tigers, who won the division, I think they won the division. Yeah, Kansas City was the wild card. Look at Kansas City, 50 and 70. They don't really do well in replays. It's amazing. It's they're 20 games under 500. They went to the World Series that year. Detroit, 59 and 60, 10.5 games behind Cleveland. You know why? Michael Brantley's batting .401 on August 11th. I'm sorry, August 15th. Right here. One of the things I love about this, it gives you the roster movements. It automatically takes players away, puts players on the roster. Look at the National League East. The Nationals pretty much running away with it. How about this? The Cubs game and a half over Pittsburgh. St. Louis is just 2 back. And the Dodgers are just on cruise control. But the surprise to me is the San Diego Padres. They're 69 and 51. And if you look, see if I can get you the standings here. They tell you what the real standings were that year. San Diego was 77 and 85. So the World Series champions are 56 and 65, 25 games out of first place. So they only won 88 games that year, but they wound up going to the World Series and winning it. So, just a little quirky things. Then you go to schedule here, and it gives you all the matchups. And what I like about this is I could just go right up to my Yankees-Rays game and just click autoplay. Houston beats Boston in 15 innings. Yeah, I let the replay baseball autoplay engine take effect. Toronto won. That's not good for me. Baltimore's lost 7 in a row. Let's see if they win. They do. They beat Cleveland. Seattle blanks Detroit. Kansas City does beat Minnesota. And now we come to my game, and all I do is press quick start. And it gives me the rosters. Here's the lineup for the Rays and the Yankees. Brandon McCarthy, 1 and 10 with a 3.63 ERA against Alex Cobb, 6 and 7, 3.56 ERA. It tells you, looks like McCann might be on the DL. That's grayed out. Tells you your leaders, lineup for the Rays, and just wanted to let you know, the Yankees are 60 and 59, we're 68 and 53, so this is a pretty big game. Want to keep the Yankees as far away as possible, and want to keep up with Baltimore, who won. So we want to win tonight and keep that 3-game lead. And I will be back with gameplay in a minute. All right, back here at Tropicana Field, the 60 and 59 Yankees getting ready to take on the 68 and 53 Tampa Bay Rays. The starting lineup for the Yankees, leading off and playing left field, is Brett Gardner. Batting second, the shortstop, Derek Jeter. Batting third, the center fielder, Jacoby Ellsbury. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Mark Teixeira. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Carlos Beltran. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Chase Headley. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Stephen Drew. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Martin Prado. Batting ninth, the catcher, Francisco Cervelli. And on the mound is Brandon McCarthy. For the Rays, leading off and playing center field is Desmond Jennings. He's had the last couple of games off. Batting second, the left fielder, Ben Zobrist. Batting third, the designated hitter, Matt Joyce. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Evan Longoria. Batting fifth, the first baseman, James Loney. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Logan Forsythe. Batting 7th, the shortstop Yunel Escobar. Batting 8th, the catcher Kurt Casale. Batting 9th and playing right field is Kevin Kiermaier, and on the mound is Alex Cobb. So we are ready to go. Move the dice roller. This is a 2014 as played season replay, as the lineups are as played. The real game on August 15th of 2014 was on a Friday, and the Rays won that game 5-0 over the Yankees. So we'll see how this goes. Brett Gardner is going to lead off. Lefty versus righty. And away we go. It is a 5-3. 5-3 under Alex Cobb is a single, but it's a ballpark roll, and now we're in Tropicana Field. So now we have to look at the ballpark effect card for Tropicana Field. And that is going to, let's see, lefty is 1-4. So it is a base hit for Brett Gardner. So he leads off with a base hit. And as you know, he could steal. He's an A stealer. And we had this situation a couple of games ago where Kurt Casale was behind the plate, and Elvis Andrus and Leonsis Martin were A stealers, and Casale threw them both out. But we are going to take that chance again. So Gardner is a 1-15 as a stealer. You subtract 2 because he's being held on. So that's 1-13, and add +1 for Casale's arm. So it's 1-14. And let's see what happens. It's a 4. So he steals the base. So right away, 1, 2, or 3, we would have checked Casale's throw rating for an error. So now Derek Jeter's the batter with Gardner at second. So the Yankees have a threat here early. You see Jeter batting .277. It is a 3-8, and a 3-8 versus a righty is a fly ball center field B with a question mark. So we know that Jennings makes the catch. But now we have to decide whether or not we're going to send Gardner to third. I think we're going to, because he's a 1-16 runner, and Desmond Jennings' arm is a +2. So it's 1-18. So he's a 90% chance to make it. So 1-18 on the next roll. If it's 1-18, he'll successfully go to third. It's a 6, so he does. So we just go, let's see. I think we go to detail, and we go fly out to center, and the runner is safe. There we go. Fly out center field, Gardner to third. So, 1 out with Gardner at third for Jacoby Ellsbury. And I don't think the infield's going to play in. It's way too early. They'll concede the run if they can get it out. 5-4 against a lefty for Alex Cobb is another ballpark roll. And it's going to be good news. It's going to be a ballpark single roll. Lefty 1-4 is a single, but that's a 16, so he lines out to second base, and the runner has to hold. That's a huge out right there. So 2 outs now with a runner at third, and that'll bring in Mark Teixeira, who's batting just 209, but he does have 17 home runs. And my dad, who's a Yankees fan, probably would not be surprised at this result if Gardner doesn't score and the inning is over, because he complains all the time that they leave guys on base and they never bring them in. So we'll see what happens. It is a 5-3, and Teixeira is going to be batting lefty. In a 5-3, once again, I think it's the exact same thing. It's a ballpark roll for a single, but it's a 16. So I think the exact same thing happened. And my dad's right. They can't bring anybody home. So he lines out to Forsythe, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, no errors, man left. So good job by Cobb to get out of that. Bottom of the first, it'll be Brandon McCarthy, who is 1-10. He was 10-15 that year with a 4.05 ERA. His ERA is pretty good. His whip is not bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. So Desmond Jennings will be the batter. He had a couple of games off where Geyer filled in. And let's see what happens here. It's 2-7. And a 2-7 versus a righty is a strikeout. Not how the Rays wanted to start. Ben Zobrist now steps in. It's a 5-7. We look at McCarthy's card against a lefty. The 5-7 is a triple 1 or a single star 2-20, and it'll just be a single. There's nobody on base, so Zobrist gets on. He's a C stealer. We're just going to keep him on base. And we'll let Matt Joyce hit away. It's a 6-11 versus a lefty on McCarthy's card. 6-11 is a fly ball to left field. So 2 outs for Evan Longoria, whose average is actually up to 232. He was in the low 220s, so he had a good series in Texas. It's a 1-4 versus a righty, and a 1-4 is a foul out to the catcher, but it's a ballpark singles check. I know 1-4 for righties and 1-4 for lefties. It's a 5, so he's going to line out to future Hall of Famer Derek Jeter. And that'll do it. So the Rays also get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the top of the second inning, and we have no score. Carlos Beltran will step in. It's a 6-6, so we look under Cobb's card against the lefty. And it is a split chance. 1-3 is a single. 4-20 is a ground ball to first. So it is a ground ball to first. And there's 1 out for Chase Headley. 2-8. 2-8 is good for Headley. His 2 column is really good against a righty, and it's a walk. So 1 out walk given up by Alex Cobb. Headley's not much of a stealer. He had 7 stolen bases. It's a C. Let's look at the chart. I don't really think I'm going to send him. We're definitely not going to hit and run with Stephen Drew. So a C is a 1-11. And I think you subtract 4 from that. Let me just double check. No, you subtract 3. So 1-11 drops it to 1-8, plus Casale's plus 1 is a 1-9. You've got a less than 50% chance. We're not going to do it. Steven Drew, though. Let's just swing away. It's a 4-8 versus a lefty, and a 4-8 is a strikeout. Steven Drew, the enigma that he is, has a lot of power, but not much else. Martin Prado will step in. And we'll see what he can do. It's a 2-3. And a 2-3 versus a righty. 2-column not very good for him. Foul out to third base. So he fouls out to Longoria to end the inning. Foul out. Third base. We go to the bottom of the second. Brandon McCarthy back out on the mound. On a side note, I'd just like to thank you guys for watching. I'm very new at this, but channels like Baseball Demos with David really got me going as far as getting into tabletop baseball again, and Earl Shamblin's channel, which I think is I think it's Tabletop Baseball. That's what it's called. He's great. He had a contest. I won a book, the Jose Canseco Steroids book. I mean, it's fantastic. All you guys out there are great. So I just want to thank you guys. And Al Wilson and guys like that, and Steve Tower. All you guys are definitely people that I admire and just great channels. And I'm sure I'm forgetting people. All right, so James Loney will step in against Brandon McCarthy. It's a 110. And a 110 for Loney is a base hit to left field. So Loney leads off with a single. He's not stealing. Hit and run for Forsythe would be a C. Bunting would be a D. We're just going to swing away. Let's get Loney on first for that would help. It's a 5-5 against a righty. 5-5 on McCarthy's card is good for the Yankees. That's a grounder to Jeter, who flip over to Drew, back to Teixeira for a 6-4-3 double play. All right, so Escobar will step in now with 2 outs and nobody on. It's a 2-8. And a 2-8 on Escobar's card. 1 is a split chance. 1-2 is a home run. But 3-20 is a fly ball to left field. So we'll say he flies out to deep left where Gardner makes the catch. And that'll do it. Francisco Cervelli. My dad's the Yankees fan. That was his favorite player. He loved Cervelli. All right, so he leads off batting .324 in 102 at-bats. And in 146 at-bats that year, he did bat .301. All right. 2-9. 2-9 is a strikeout for Cervelli. He finds the strikeout. 2-2 and 2-3 and 2-9 were the only outs on there. Everything else was splits, home runs, doubles, triple, double. Had a ballpark effect roll. Everything else was a hit, just about. But he found the strikeout. So that is 1 away for Brett Gardner, who singled and stole second, but got stranded there. It's a 1-9. And a 1-9 is a walk. So he's back on first base. And with the weak throwing Casali behind home plate, 1-14 chance. Why the heck not? Well, you could hit and run with Jeter because he's an A hit and run with the infield holding Gardner on, but we're going to try to steal. 1-14. Oh boy, I better not try to steal on Casali anymore. Unbelievable. Caught stealing. 1-14 was the stolen base. It's a 15. He is caught stealing 2-4. So now Jeter batting with nobody on. 6-4 versus a righty. Ground ball to shortstop X, so we have a range check. Escobar is a 4. And the roll is a 6. I don't think that's very good. Shortstop 4, 6. Nope. It's not horrible, but it's not great. It's a base hit. So if Gardner actually stole second, he'd be at third right now, and there'd be runners at the corners with one out. But Kirk Casali is channeling his inner Pudge Rodriguez and just throwing guys out left and right. Last 3 guys he's thrown out have been Elvis Andrus, Leonsis Martin, and Brett Gardner. So 2 outs and a runner at first for Jacoby Ellsbury. Jeter is a B stealer, but we don't want to make the last out on the bases, so we'll let Ellsbury swing away. It's a 6-6 against the lefty. And it's a split chance. 1-3 is a single. 4-20 is a ground ball to first. And that'll end the inning. Yankees have stranded a runner each of the first 3 innings. So we go to the bottom of the third. No score here at the Trop. Just want to also shout out to the Rays for what they did last night for their Pride Night for the victims in the Orlando shooting last week. They had over 40,000 people there last night. All the money was donated to the Orlando Pulse, I believe it's called, relief fund. So great stuff, and just want to shout out to the Rays for that. They'll probably never hear it, but I'm a Rays fan, so I thought it was pretty cool. All right, so Kirk Casali, a.k.a. Pudge Rodriguez, will bat. It's a 1-7, and Casali strikes out because the only real good thing off of his card is in the 3 column. Kevin Kiermaier coming in, batting .247 with 5 home runs. This is his 65th game. 1-9. His 1 column is great, and he hits it a lot. Is a split chance. 1-10 is a triple. 11-20 is a double. That's an 18. So that's a 1-out double for Kiermaier. And in 2016, the Rays sure miss him. I believe he broke his hand. And they miss his defense, and his bat's pretty good. It's really not bad. They miss him. All right, so Kiermaier at second for Desmond Jennings. We're not going to bunt him over. Let's try a hit and run. Hit and run is C. Now, tell me in the comments if I'm doing this wrong. I suppose they're holding him on at second, so that drops it to a hit and run of B. Or that improves it to a B hit and run. So that's what I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to assume here. Because it says, if the infield is in or a runner's being held on base, refer to preceding letter on chart. For example, refer to letter B with the infield in and the batter possessing a C hit and run rating. Well, they're not really, the infield's not in, but they're holding him on second, so I'm going to just do that and go to letter B. So let's see what happens. If I'm doing it wrong, please somebody tell me. So we're going to add the first 2 dice here. It's a 4 on a B hit and run. It's a ground out to first, and then the runner advances 1 base. So it'll be a 3 unassisted to Teixeira, and Kiermaier will go to third. And so that'll be Kiermaier at third now with 2 outs for Ben Zobrist. Zobrist has a base hit in his first at bat in the first inning. Let's see if he can keep it going. 4-11 versus a lefty is a ballpark singles chart roll. It would have been a single to left field, but we're playing the ballpark effects chart. And I know an 8 is an out because it's only 1-4 at Tropicana Field. So Zobrist lines out to Stephen Drew. And the Rays strain another runner. So both teams have had opportunities, but have not cashed in yet. So we'll see what happens. We go to the 4th. It is the Yankees nothing and the Rays nothing. All right, so Mark Teixeira will lead off here in the 4th against Alex Cobb. And Teixeira lined out to Forsythe his first at bat. And that was the last out with Gardner being on third. So, here we go. It's a 1-4. 1-4 against a righty is a ground ball to Escobar, who makes the play. All right. So that is a 6-3. Here's Beltran, who grounded out to first his first time up. He's got a 5-8. He's batting lefty for this at bat. And a 5-8 is a fly ball to Zobrist. And Chase Headley will bat. He walked his first time up and was stranded there. In case you're wondering, Alex Cobb's point of weakness is the 6th inning. So here's Headley. It's a 5-7. And that is a strikeout. I don't know if I rolled twice for him or not. Either way, both were strikeouts. So Cobb with a 1-2-3 inning. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, where Matt Joyce will lead off. Brandon McCarthy's point of weakness is also the 6th inning. That is a 4-7, and that's a strikeout. Here's Longoria. Lined out to short his first time up. 6-10 versus a righty. Fly ball center field X. So we check Ellsbury. He's a 1. He's great. He's a 1. That's a 16. I'm going to check the chart, but it's pretty much an out. And it is. So fly ball to Ellsbury. 2 outs for James Loney, who singled his first time up. 2-6 is a pop out to first. So he pops it out to Teixeira. And we got a pitcher's duel going on here. As we move along to the 5th inning. And Alex Cobb back to the mound. He'll take on Stephen Drew, who struck out his first at bat. It's a 1-3. And a 1-3 is a ground ball to Forsythe for the first out. And here's Martin Prado. 1-7 is a base hit to left field for Prado. He's not going to steal. We're not going to hit and run. Cervelli is up. It's a 1-8, and that's a walk. So the Yankees have something going here in the 5th. Runners at first and second now for the top of the order. And Brett Gardner. Let's see what happens. It's a 1-4. And a 1-4 is a singles ballpark effect chart. And it's a 13, and that's going to be just a liner to Forsythe. So those ballpark effects are really coming into play, and it's Tampa Bay is a tough place. Tropicana Field's a tough place to hit a home run and get singles, I guess, because even their home runs, lefty and righty, are both 1-5. So that's where the ballpark effect comes in. So that'll bring up Derek Jeter now. And it's a 1-6. And a 1-6 is a single star. So Jeter drives in Martin Prado. Cervelli goes to third, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. And here's Jacoby Ellsbury. See if he can add on. It's a 4-4 versus a lefty. 4-4 is a catcher X. So we could possibly have a wild pitch or a pass ball on this. Casale is a 3, I believe. Yes. He's a 3, and it's a 17. So we look on the catcher's chart for 3 and 17, and it is a pass ball and a foul out. So the Yankees are going to get another run. And it is going to be a passed ball and then a foul out to the catcher. So Cervelli will score on the pass ball. And a foul out to the catcher to end the inning, but the Yankees pick up 2 runs. In case you're wondering, I'm filling out my score sheet. That's why it takes me a minute. So Brandon McCarthy now is staked to a 2-0 lead. So that will start now the bottom of the 5th. And here's Logan Forsythe. Rays trying to get something going. It's a 4-3 versus a lefty. Versus a righty. 4-3 is a fly ball to right field X. Martin Prado is playing right field. He's a 4, and that's a 4. That might be good for the Rays. 4 and a 4 is a double, and if there were anybody on, they would advance 3 bases. So a 4 and a 4 is a double. Since there's nobody on, it's just a regular double. So good start for the Rays. And here's Yunel Escobar. We could try to hit and run, but I'm not going to. It's a 4-6 versus a righty. That's a fly ball to center field B. And the runner at third would score, other runners hold. So Forsythe holds. So not a productive out there. Here's Curt Casali. He would have a C hit and run. We're going to try it. His hitting card is terrible. Against righties, though, for McCarthy, you want to hit the 6 column, it looks like. Let's see. You wouldn't normally hit and run with Casali. Let's just swing away. Probably doing it wrong, but anyway, it's a 1-5. And that's a strikeout. Let's see if we would have hit and run. We would have added the 1 and the 1 for the 2 under the C. C2. Single runners advance 2 bases. Oh well. Would have been an RBI single. Screwed that up. Alright, here's Kiermaier. He doubled his first time up. It's a 1-4. And his 1 column is fantastic, except for the 4. The 2 and the 4, he grounds out to first. And the inning's over. Well, you live and you learn. I should have hit and run. But I just don't think the Rays would hit and run with Curt Casali. So we go to the 6th. Both pitchers will be in their point of weakness. The Yankees lead 2-0. All right, we're back here for the top of the 6th. Just little info about me, my background. I live in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. And how did I become a Rays fan? Well, I grew up following the Yankees in the 70s. 1977 was really the first season I remember. And they won the World Series. I was born in New York. But then we moved to California when I was 11. And I became a fan of the San Francisco Giants living out there before they were even good. I think they had one good year in 82, and they knocked the Dodgers out of the playoffs on the final game of the season, which was really exciting for me as a 12, 13-year-old back then. I remember Joe Morgan hit a big home run. And I really got into the Giants. And we moved to Raleigh in 1987 during the summer. My dad got a job transfer, and we moved to Raleigh. And it was in the middle of 87 with the Giants with a big pennant race. And they actually won the NL West that year and then lost to the Cardinals in the playoffs. And I was really into the Giants. But then when we moved back to the East Coast, I kind of followed the Giants as best I could. There wasn't DirecTV back then, internet, all that good stuff where everybody could keep up with their favorite team. So the Giants kind of faded. And being back on the East Coast, I kind of didn't really follow anybody. I was a baseball fan, but, I'd look in the papers for the box scores for the Giants. But then in 1998, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays came into existence, and the Durham Bulls, which is our minor league team here, we have the Mudcats also, but mostly everybody here follows the Durham Bulls. And of course, when we moved to North Carolina in 87, they were filming Bull Durham, because I remember looking in the paper saying they needed extras to be in the stands and whatnot. And I should have done that as a 17-year-old, but I didn't. But so I go to a lot of Durham Bulls games. So since 1998, I've really been following the Bulls, going to baseball games there and whatnot. And I have followed a bunch of Tampa Bay Rays that have come through. I've seen B.J. Upton, Evan Longoria, David Price, Alex Cobb, Jeff Neiman, Jose Lobaton, Kiermaier, Desmond Jennings, just a lot of guys. And like Zobrist played there, I think, on a he had like a DL stint, and then he had rehab. And so I've just seen a lot of guys, and I became very attached to the Tampa Bay Rays. And I know that was a long-winded story, but that's how I became a Rays fan. All right, so let's get back to it. Alex Cobb against Teixeira. And Teixeira is 0 for 2. It's a 6-5 versus a lefty. And a 6-5 is a ground ball to Escobar, but it is a range check, and it's a 12, and we might be going to his error rating. I think we are. Yep, 8-12. So Escobar is a E20. Add up the first two dice, it's a 7. So an E20 and a 7. And he makes the play. So that's a 6-3. And Teixeira's 0 for 4. Here's Carlos Beltran. He is 0 for 2. It is a 3-11. That's a walk. All right, so we're in the point of weakness inning. So there's one. He's not stealing. And here is Chase Headley, who is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. It's a 6-7. 6-7 versus a lefty, because Headley will bat lefty on this. So 6-7 is a ground ball, second base X. So we go to Forsythe, who's a 2, and that's a 15. So that should be good. 2 and a 15 is a ground ball A. That's going to be a 4-6-3, inning-ending double play. And Alex Cobb gets himself another inning of work. All right. So he'll come back out for the 7th. Brandon McCarthy now in his point of weakness. He's got the top of the order to deal with, and the Rays really need to get something going. McCarthy's pitched a great game. Gave up a single to Zobrist in the first, and then to Loney in the second, which was squashed by the double play. Did give up a double, one-out double to Kiermaier, but he was stranded, and then he gave up a leadoff double to Forsythe, but he was stranded as well. All right, so Jennings will lead off. Rays have got to get something going. It's a 4-8 versus a righty. That's not the way to start it. Jennings strikes out. Horrible leadoff man. I'm looking at his card here. He had a .319 on base percentage. Just not a very good leadoff guy. All right, one out for Zobrist. He's 1 for 2, singled and lined out to Drew. It's a 4-7 versus a lefty. Strikeout. It's got a dot next to it, but McCarthy is not at his point of weakness. Here's Matt Joyce. 4-6 is going to be a fly ball to center. So the Rays cannot get anything going against a 1-in-10 pitcher who has decent numbers, though. Really not bad. All right, so Cobb will come out for the 7th. Bullpen starting to loosen around and walk around, loosen up a little bit. He gave up a walk in the 6th, so correct me if I'm wrong, it's the combination of 3 hits or walks in an inning, or 2 over 2 innings, it's 4. So if I'm reading this right, he has another inning of where he can give up 3 walks or hits before going into his point of weakness. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. All right, so Stephen Drew will lead things off. It's a 1-4, and Drew strikes out for out number 1. Martin Prado is 1 for 2. He fouled out to Longoria and then singled and scored. On the Jeter single, I believe. 4-5 versus a righty. It is a strikeout. So Cobb bringing his K game. There's Cervelli. It's a 4-7 versus a righty. Single 1-5, ground ball to third, 6-20. It's an 8. So he grounds out to Longoria. So 1, 2, 3 go the Yankees, and Cobb's pitching a good game. I don't see the need to pull him in the 8th. Let him go out there. All right, so bottom of the 7th, McCarthy will still be out there. He'll face Longoria, Loney, and Forsythe. Let's see who we have on the bench. It's Geyer. We have right-handers. Geyer and Rodriguez. You're not going to use Molina for anything. We're not playing injuries, so there's no reason to put him in. Unless you pinch hit him for Casale, which you may want to, because Casale's card is terrible. So nothing doing here yet. We're not going to substitute or anything. All right, so let's see what Longo can do. It's a 1-9, and Longo leads off with a walk. And that'll bring up Loney. So 2 more. Let's see. His point of weakness was the 6th inning. He retired the side in order. So I think so 2 more hits or walks, then he reaches his point of weakness, or is it 3? Or does he get 4 over 2? 4. Does he get 4 over 2 innings? I'm confused. Somebody correct me. But I am going to just say 2 more hits or walks, and then he reaches his point of weakness. All right, so runner at first for Loney. Do we want to hit and run? It would be a B, hit and run. No. We got a guy on base. It's a 3-8. Should have hit and run. That is a ground ball to second base A. So that's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Doesn't surprise me. Loney leads, I think, the American League in grounding into double plays in this replay. And that takes care of that. Here's Forsythe. You guys know what time it is in the 8th and 9th inning. Betances in the 8th and then Miller in the 9th. I think. Do they have Miller? Yeah. No, they don't. Definitely Betances and then Robertson. That's right. That's right. Getting my ears mixed up. All right, so Forsythe, this will be McCarthy's last inning. It's a 3-3. And a 3-3 is a pop-out to short. So the leadoff walk does nothing. And what an outing for Brandon McCarthy. Alex Cobb will come back out for the 8th. Or I believe he gave up a walk in the 6th, and that was it. Retired the side in order in the 7th. So I still think he's about 3 hits and walks away from point of weakness. I think. That's the way I'm going to play it. Because didn't it say 4 over 2 innings or something like that? Anyway, I'll play with 2. Then we'll do with 2. All right, so 6-9 versus a lefty. 6-9 is a strikeout. He's getting stronger as the game goes on. That's the 3rd strikeout of the last 4 batters for him. Here's Jeter, who has the only RBI. The other run came on a pass ball. 1-8. It's a fly ball to left. Two outs for Ellsbury. It's a 3-8. And that's going to be a base hit to left field. 5th Yankee hit. And as you can see on their game engine, he's tired. But on ours, we still have 1 more hit or walk. Ellsbury is a stealing of AA. So we're going to steal. That's 1-17. And so -2, so that's 1-15. And then Casale, so that's 1-16. And that's a 3, and we could have a throwing error. So he does steal the base. Now we have to look at Casale's card. And his throwing error is 1-4. So if it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4, it'll be a throwing error. So like the throw would go into center field and Ellsbury would go to third. It's a 9, so it's just a stolen base. So that's how that works. It's Shara. 1-4. There's a ground out to short. 3 times in a row he's grounded out to Escobar, this time to end the inning. And that will do it for Alex Cobb. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We're going to have a pitching change, and I'll be right back with that. All right, we are back for the bottom of the 8th. Dellin Betances will take over for Brandon McCarthy. We can close the book on McCarthy. Excellent job. 7 shutout innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. So great job by him. And here is Betances with strikeouts all over his card. Escobar. We don't really have anybody to pinch hit for him. We could pinch hit Rodriguez, but Escobar's a good batter. 4-10 versus a righty. Struck him out. 4-8, 4-9 was a walk. So Escobar goes down on strikes. Kurt Casale. The guys, let's pinch hit for him. We're going to put in Brandon Geyer. And then Molina will come in as the catcher. So, let's see if I can find Mr. Geyer real quick. There he is. So he'll pinch hit for Kurt Casale. And we're ready to go. All right, so Geyer batting 213 on the year. Real life, he batted 266, so better shot of getting a hit with him. It's a 6-11, though. It's off of Betances' card versus a righty, and a 6-11 is a fly ball to right field. X Prado is a 4, and that's a 4. That might be something. That's a double. So Prado being a below average right fielder helps. Let's see. We could put Ichiro in. It's probably what I should have done. We'll do that in the 9th, though, for defensive purposes. So Geyer is on with a double. Let's see if Kiermaier can get him home. It's a 4-7 versus a lefty. Forget about it. Struck him out. And it'll be up to Desmond Jennings. 3-11 versus a righty is a ballpark single effect chart, and one we all know 1 through 4 is a single. That's an 8, so he'll line it to Jeter, and the inning is over, so the double is wasted. We go to the 9th. We'll have a pitching change. First, let me make sure I get Molina in there. And we will have a pitching change. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Grant Balfour will be on the mound for the 9th. He's 4-2 with a 1.88 ERA. This will be his 46th appearance. He's got 3 saves. Doing a lot better than his real life 2014, where he was 2-6 with a 4.91 earned run average. 62 innings pitched, walked 41, struck out 57. That's why we called him Grant Balfour. Great guy, though, but just lost it. All right, so he'll pitch to Beltran. Let's see how he does. 6-11 versus a lefty is a ground ball back to the pitcher. Balfour is a 4, and that's a 2. So we go to pitcher. 4 and a 2 is a base hit, so that's not good. So leadoff single for Beltran. Pinch runner. We'll just leave him. Here's Chase Headley. It's a 4-4 versus a lefty. Catcher X, this time it's Molina, so he's a 2. And that's a 6. 2 and a 6 is a wild pitch and a pop-up. So now we've had the pass ball, now we have the wild pitch, and then the pop-up to the catcher. And that will bring up Stephen Drew. And Ichiro is going to pinch hit for him. And let me find his card. I'll be right back. Ichiro is up. Beltran at second. That is a 5-7. 5-7 is a walk. So we're not getting good results because a lot of the times we're going off of Balfour's card. And that'll bring up Martin Prado. And I am going to bring in Boxberger. Even though he's the closer, we need to keep this at 2-0. So let's go to Boxberger's card. There it is. So I told you how good Balfour did all year, and then he pitches like he really did in 2014. So we go now to Boxberger. Against Martin Prado with 2 on and 1 out. It is a 4-4. A lot of hitting or pitcher cards. 4-4 is a strikeout. That's a big strikeout right there. And here is Cervelli. There is no Brian McCann. He is not on the roster. 2-3. Tell you what, he missed a double. 2-4 would have been a double. But it's a 2-3, and it's a ground ball for Escobar, and that'll be a 6-4. Put out. And Boxberger does his job. We go to the bottom of the 9th. All right, we're back for the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Ben Zobrist, Matt Joyce, and Evan Longoria. I guess the 3 guys that you want up. David Robertson is 1-3 with a 2.15 earned run average, 10 saves. 46 innings pitched. This is his 37th relief appearance. We now have Ichiro Suzuki in right field, taking the place of Martin Prado. And Brendan Ryan has moved to second base, taking the place of Stephen Drew. Suzuki will bat in Drew's spot. Ryan bats in Prado's spot. I think that's how that goes. Anyway, Ben Zobrist. And by the way, Ichiro, if you were looking at defense, Prado, which I should have taken him out in the 8th inning for defense, but he did cause the double, but it didn't score. He was a 4E6 with a 0 arm. Ichiro for right field is a 2E2 -2 for an arm. So much better defensive player, obviously. All right, Ben Zobrist, let's get this going. Against David Robertson, it is a 2-7, and a 2-7 is a base hit to left field. So let's see if the Rays can get anything going. Here's Matt Joyce, who can hit for power. He has got normal power. I think I was saying neutral power in my other videos. It's normal power. 6-10 versus a lefty is a fly ball to center field X. Ellsbury is a 1. That's a 16. Let me just check the letter behind it. 1 and a 16 is a fly ball B. Runner holds. Obviously, not going to go to second. So that's 1 out. Here's Longoria. He's been hitting homers lately. It's a 4-5. 4-5 versus a righty is a ground ball to shortstop X. Jeter is a 4, but that's a 20. 4 and a 20 is a ground ball to B, so I believe Zobrist is out and Longoria gets to first, so it'll be a 6-4. So that's a fielder's choice. And the Rays are down to their final out, and it's James Loney. We'll let him hit. We only have Rodriguez on the bench. He's a righty, though. If we can get into Loney's one column, not much. We need to get on Loney's column, so one column. It's not. It's a 3. A 3-8 is not good. 3-9 is a walk. 3-10 is a walk. But a 3-8 is a ground ball to second base. And that will end the ball game. And the Rays come back off the 7-3 road trip and drop the opener to the New York Yankees by the score of 2-0. Not exactly the most exciting baseball game in the world, but it was a good pitcher's duel. And Brandon McCarthy improves to 2-10. Cobb drops to 6-8. David Robertson picks up his 11th save, and McCarthy is the player of the game, deservedly so. Let's look at some notables. Derek Jeter went 2 for 4. He drove in the only run. The other run was a pass ball. Catching was a problem today for the Rays. Pass ball and wild pitch. Everybody else was pretty well held in check. Zobrist went 2 for 4. Loney had a hit. Forsythe. Geyer with a pinch hit double, but couldn't score. Kiermaier. Catching position's a black hole. Still is for the Rays. Let's see. Total bases, Jeter. They didn't have an extra base hit. Jeter did get the 2-out RBI. They were only 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 7 on base. And it was the Rays who had doubles. Kiermaier, Forsythe, and Geyer. But Forsythe and Loney grounded into double plays. They were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And Caselli had a pass ball that led to a run. Garner did steal his 14th. Ellsbury stole his 31st. Gardner actually thrown out also. Here's the pitching lines. Brandon McCarthy did a great job. 7 innings shutout baseball, 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Matanzas gave up a hit in the 8th, but struck out 2. Robertson gave up a hit in the 9th, but he got out of it. And the shutout for the Yankees. And Alex Cobb did a good job. Walk count was a little high. 8 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, only 1 earned. The other was the pass ball. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Balfour, a third of an inning. He gave up a hit and walked 1. Boxberger pitched 2/3. Time of the ball game, 2 hours and 54 minutes. McCarthy, the MVP. Balfour with a wild pitch also. I think I said that tough day for the catchers with the wild pitch and the pass ball. Obviously, the pass ball wild pitch is on the charge to the pitcher. Anyway, the Yankees improved to 61-59. The Rays are 68-54. And with Baltimore winning, the Rays now lead the American League East by 2. So it should be a fun August and into September. Thanks again for watching. I know the video was long. Hopefully you enjoy it. Correct any mistakes I'm making. And please subscribe. I thought I would create a channel. It's fun. Makes the games more interesting. I'm not going to do every game, but I wanted to do a few games that I've been doing here recently with the Rays. Also going to do some inside pitch baseball and some payoff pitch baseball soon, and APA probably. Anyway, that's it. Final score from Tropicana Field. It is the New York Yankees 2 and the Tampa Bay Rays nothing. Good night, everyone.